So Chimaev goes to his Instagram and or Twitter. He takes a caption of the UFC world title belt. He then writes 100% next to it. What that does is it leads to immediate speculation over an interim championship. Okay, like I'm into a riddle. I'm into a rumor. I'm into a riddle and a rumor started by the most interesting guy at 170 pounds who happens to be Chimaev. And not for nothing, while I don't believe this in the least, I do know we fiercely adhere to the rules that we make up on the spot in this sport. And there is something going on with Kamaru. I mean, in all fairness, that Kamaru fight with Leon, there has never been a fight in history that has been announced, and as many months, as many weeks, as much time has gone by as this one, Leon versus Kamaru for a chapter where we never got a date. It's just simply never happened before. What do you make of that? Probably nothing more than Kamaru had a bad hand. We for sure know the opportunity goes to Leon. If Kamaru can't get out there and fight, we'll just have Leon wait. Like, I don't think there's any conspiracy there. I think it's very blunt and very right in front of us. At the same time, the history of the sport says if the champion can't defend for whatever reason, including injury, then we are eligible now to bring into an interim title. Not to mention, I think that we've got the bodies. I don't know where Colby's at. I think I have a better idea of what's going on with Colby than anybody else, but I'll tell you, I don't even have a clear on Colby. I do believe as it pertains to Colby, until that gets worked out, I mean, it's kind of hand in hand, Masvidal. But you look like you've got some really good options right now. I mean, you truly do. The rematch with Burns and Chimaev, yes, please, all day. But are we just acting like we're dismissing Belal Muhammad? There was a rumor came out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, perhaps it came from our good friend Ariel Helwani. But somebody of Ariel's clout had speculated that that coveted ABC spot, that coveted main event that was going to be Chimaev versus Colby Covington, and also we didn't hear much about it. That spot is now allegedly Korean Zombie and Brian Ortega are looking at that. Fine. Don't know if that's true. Don't know if it's not. But the point is still the same, which is it's not set in stone. And Chimaev is not set for that spot. There's always a rumor going around that it's going to be Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. But no matter how many times Nate Diaz says yes, or Chimaev says, I'd like to do it, or you get a promoter who says, this is the direction we're going, we haven't brought those three together in conjunction with a date. So if you were to look to do an interim championship at 170, who would you look to? I think you would have to look to Chimaev. Can we all agree on that? We know that you could turn to Burns, but we know that you could turn to Belal Muhammad as well. It seems like a really good problem to have. And I will mention for you, there are some guys that if you're going to get in there with Kamaru Usman, coming through the back door and having that golden ticket, known as the interim championship, might be the fastest track you've got. Chimaev is one fight removed, right? He had the Gilbert Burns fight, but that is only one fight removed from the statement Dana White made that Chimaev is 4 fights away from being eligible to take on Kamaru Usman. Now, he got a lot done in that one fight, right? Going out there, having the number 3 guy in the world, beating him, having it be fight of the night. The MRI fans kicked in, everybody else, I mean, they praised it so much. Maybe that was the one that you needed, but we didn't quite hear about that because we knew Leon was coming up. And we also knew that Chimaev was being rumored to get moved in there with Colby. It's a very hard scenario to think of where Gilbert Burns is going to get a world title fight as long as Kamaru Usman is still standing. It can happen. It's possible, but there's a lot of victories and a lot of time. It does seem as though the fastest track, and I don't mean to move Belal out. I don't really give a damn. Vincent Luque stubbed his toe one time. So what? Who hasn't? If you want the ultimate fast track, if you want the ultimate guarantee, there it is. If, in fact, Chimaev gets his way, or possibly has inside information that he wasn't supposed to share, so he thought he would do it in this cute way, thus preserving the information he had while still getting the message out, I don't know what led him to do that. But let's say he's right. He is very likely to be one half of that. I'm talking about this mythical, unstated interim championship match. If we're going to do that, Chimaev is very likely to be one half of that. Who is his opponent going to be?